أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Welcome back to our online classes, dear students, and we are just ongoing our topic, that is measurements. And today's lecture is about the first basic quantity, that is the length, and two other quantities, giant quantities, which are related to the length. So our first thing which we are going to discuss, that will be the length. The second thing, it will be the area, which is related to the length, and the third one is the volume. Today's lecture will be just related to these three quantities, and today we are going to start the length. First thing, we should be able to define the length. We should understand that what do we mean by the length. So, what is the length? Actually, we have learned in our previous classes that the length is from the one end of an object to the other. Means if there is a pencil and we have been asked to find out its length, then the distance between its two fixed points, that is from here till here, will be called its length. So, अगर हम इसके लिहाज से देखें तो how we can define the length? The length is, it is the distance between the two fixed points. And how we can measure it? Say the lower end of the pencil is on the scale is presenting a measurement that is 3 centimeters, and the upper end is presenting a measurement of 7 centimeters. Then what will be its length? Its length will be the difference of these two quantities, that is 7 minus 3, 4 centimeters. Is it? Whenever we are going to measure it, then we are just coming confront the length in different units. Sometimes we measure the length in kilometers, sometimes we measure the length in centimeters, sometimes in millimeters, and sometimes in meters. So we should know how we will convert these lengths from one unit to another. Between the two points, the SI unit interlength used to measure the length is meter, and it is being presented by a symbol that is M. And whenever we are going to measure the different objects of different lengths, for example, if we have to measure the distance between our home and the school, then the distance will be in kilometers. If we are going to measure the length of a room, then it will be in meters. And if we are going to measure the length of simple a pencil or a marker or a smaller object, then it will be apparently in centimeters or millimeters. But we have to present these lengths in different units as we are going to measure them. So we should be capable to convert these measurements from one form to another. So what is the next thing? That is the conversion of units. It is a very simple thing to convert the unit from one form to another. It is just based upon the previous knowledge. We are familiar with different units, that is the kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters. All these units have been arranged in descending order. The biggest one is kilometers, smaller one is meter, another one is centimeters, and the smallest one is millimeter here. And we know that 1 kilometer comprises of 1000 meters, 1 meter comprises of 100 centimeters, and 1 centimeter comprises of 10 millimeters. If we are going to convert them from one form to another, we have to follow the two procedures. If we are going to convert a bigger unit to a smaller one, means we are going to move from bigger to smaller unit, then we will have to multiply the given quantity by the numbers just in between them. For example, if we are going to convert 5.4 kilometers to centimeters, then how we can convert it? From kilometer to centimeter, there are two numbers in between them. So multiply 5.4 by 1000 and by 100. Means 5.4 multiplied by 1000 multiplied by 100. The answer will be in centimeters. So it will be 54000 centimeters. Is it clear? And oppositely, if we are going to convert the smaller units to bigger ones, means if we are moving from the smaller to the bigger units, then we will have to divide the given quantity by the numbers in between them. From millimeter to meters, अगर हमें convert करना है, तो then we have to divide the quantity by 10 and 100 both. Is it clear? So that was the length, and length has as a unit in meters. Some smaller units and bigger units are also used to measure the lengths. That's all. And now we are moving towards the area. What is the area of an object? Area is actually concerned with mostly the 2D shapes. 2D shapes means which have two dimensions, the lengths and the widths. We are familiar with most of the figures which are regular in shapes, and these are mostly the triangles, rectangles, squares, trapezium, parallelogram, rhombus. These are called the circle. These are called the 2D shapes. And the area is actually the space occupied by any 2D shape. So, if we want to define the area, we can write it down as the space occupied by any 2D shape. For example, rectangle. It is a 2D shape. It has two dimensions, that is the length, this one, and the width, this one. So two dimensions are there, and we are going to find out its space occupied, this one, and it will be called its area. How we can find out the area of some regular shapes, that is the rectangles, squares, circles. We can find out the area of these shapes just with the help of some mathematical formulas. For example, the area of this rectangle will be equals to length into width. And in the same way, different figures have different formulas to find out the area. And in this figure, you can see that different figures have different formulas. For example, the square, its area is equals to L square. The trapezium, it is equals to half into base into height into base, sum of the parallel sides into height. Circle's area can be found out with the help of pi and the radius of the circle, that is pi r square, etc. But sometimes we are going to find the area of irregular shape. If we are going to find the area of irregular shape, then the most appropriate way is to split the irregular shape into different regular shapes of the figure. For example, a figure has been shown here, and it has been split up into small squares. As it is not of regular shape, so it is not possible for us to find out its exact area. For irregular shapes, we can estimate the area, and by splitting it into specific figures, we can conclude the boxes, the full shaded or half or more than half shaded areas can be included in it, and the boxes which are lesser than half shaded, that can be excluded. So by counting these boxes, we can calculate or estimate the area of an irregular shape. So, for example, to calculate the area of this irregular shape, we can count the boxes here. And if we are going to count out the boxes which are shaded more than half, they will be included, and lesser than half will be excluded. When we count these boxes, there are approximately 51 boxes which have fulfilled these conditions. So we can say that the area of this unshaded region or shaded this object is 51 units square. And one more important thing is the area, as there are two lengths have been included in it. So its answer or its unit will always be given in the form of squares. Means if the length and width are given to you in centimeters, then its unit will be centimeter square. Means centimeter multiplied by centimeter, it will be centimeter squares. If the unit is given to you in meter, then the area have a unit meter squares or kilometer squares and so on. Is it clear? Then moving towards the volume. What is the volume? Volume is actually the capacity or the space occupied by a 3D shape. Now, what is the 3D shape? 3D shape is actually a figure or an object which have three dimensions. That is the length, the width, and the height. Say a cube is there. A cube which have all the faces, the square faces, 6 faces along with it. And now it have three lengths with it, length, width, and the height. How much space is in between this object, or what is the capacity of this box or cube? This is called the volume of the cube. And we can calculate the volume by using some mathematical formulas for regular objects. The regular objects are the cube, the cuboid, the cylinders, the spheres, cones, pyramids. These are actually the regular 3D objects. And the volume of these objects can be calculated by applying some formulas. As in the figure, which is just uploaded to you, here 5 3D objects have been shown to you. The first one is a cube, second one is a cuboid, third one is a cylinder, fourth one is a sphere, and the fifth one is a cone. All these objects are regular shaped. And actually, these regular shape objects, their volume can be found out by using the formulas which have been written just underneath them. So it is very easy to find out the volume of regular shape objects, but sometimes we have to find out the volume of some irregular shape objects. Then what will be the procedure to find out the volume of these ones? As the irregular shape objects, say a stone, which has an irregular shape, a stone, and we have been asked to find out its volume. Now, this object has no length, no width, or no height, proper length, width, and height. Then how we can find out its volume? There is a method, there is a practical work with which we can find out its volume, and that procedure is known as the water displacement method. In water displacement method, what we have to do? We will have to take some water in a beaker. So, okay, appropriate amount of water in a beaker, and then we have to immerse down the stone or the given object into that water. Apparently, when we immerse the stone or object into the water level will rise. The difference between the final and the initial level of the water will give us the volume of this irregular object. But if the object is a little bit bigger, means it is not able to immerse it into a measuring cylinder, then we can use a water displacement can. Water displacement can, which is a little bit bigger object, and it has been shown to you in the figure here. It is a water displacement can. If the object is a little bit bigger, then we can use this one. When we immerse the object into this can, then it will displace some water which will be collected into a beaker or a measuring cylinder, and the volume of that water will be measured with the help of beaker or measuring cylinder, and it will be equals to the volume of the irregular shaped object. That's all for today, students, and inshallah we are going to discuss our another length measuring instrument in our upcoming lecture, and that is the micrometer screw gauge. So, okay, we are going to use different instruments to measure the length, and one of these one is the micrometer screw gauge. So try to solve the worksheet which has been attached along with this lecture, which will help you to understand either you have grasped all the concepts of this lecture or not. Till next lecture, wish you best of luck, and stay safe, stay home. Okay, Allah Hafiz. Thank you.